Good day, new IDM students. Welcome to IDM. It is a great pleasure for me to be here to welcome you. My name is Katlego from the Student Welfare Office. With respect to audibility, I will take off my mask, but please do try as hard as you can to adhere to all COVID-19 protocols that you will find placed in IDM as you go about your studying. The Student Welfare Office is one of the most appropriately positioned entities in IDM to enhance learner support. This is to say, we are solely here as student welfare officers to ensure that your welfare in IDM as students is taken care of. The idea behind having this office is to prepare you that upon completion or upon graduating from your respective courses, you are holistically prepared to fit into the society. This is to say, we are talking about your personal branding, we are talking about your emotional intelligence, amongst other things. Now, the office runs in several key initiatives to ensure that your welfare is taken care of. The first one to start with is that of counseling. In counseling, we have two major aspects of counseling where we are talking of your academics, your academic and career guidance and counseling, and your personal, social, and emotional counseling. When we are talking about academic and career counseling, we are touching aspects of attendance, lesson attendance regulations. We are talking about truancy. We are talking about goal setting, time management, study skills. Now, when we are talking about the above, we are saying as early as you enroll in IDM or you start your lessons in IDM, ensure that you set your goals, both long-term and short-term. Start with the short-term to say, upon completion of my first year, I want to have achieved 1 and 2. And then also, you utilize techniques such as timetable, utilize your study skills. If you have a problem with drafting your timetable or you have a problem with coming up with study skills, do visit the Student Welfare Office. One other major aspect of the career guidance counseling is for you as a student to familiarize yourself with demands or expectations of the courses that you are enrolled in. Now, what I could allude to when I'm talking about implications of this is that try as hard as possible to do the research for yourself with help from your lecturers, other than running to your friends to ask and say, for example, how is epidemiology and public health? Yes, they can give you great advice concerning that, but most times you find that individual comfortability differs from person to person. One person might say epidemiology is easy. For you, it might not be an easy flow. So try as hard as you can to do the research for yourself. Visit your lecturers, ask your lecturers, come to the student welfare and learn more. When we move on to the social, economic, emotional, the social, emotional, and personal counseling, we're talking things that affect you as a person, as an individual, be it relationships, be it conflict resolutions, be it personal growth like emotional intelligence, self-awareness. Are you aware of who you want to be upon completion of your study, other than being a degree holder in public health? Are you aware of where you want to be? Is your self-esteem in line with your self-awareness? Still on the personal or emotional and social counseling, we cover ranges such as your sexual health, your relationships. Are you forming healthy relationships as a student? Try as hard as you can, as appetizing as they may be. Try as hard as you can to run away from multi-concurrent relationships. With respect, sometimes you will find that you will want to engage in such with respect to I'll have more money or I will have more status whatsoever. Try and run away from those types, because the package is just only to delay you. Plus, remember that your primary goal here in IDM isn't to be forming a lifelong relationship that will lead into marriage. Yes, that will come, but as a bonus. But your lifelong or your study long term is that you excel in your studies and you graduate with a suitable or a desirable cumulative point. Another point or another service that we have in the student welfare is that of health and wellness life skills services. In this aspect, we are talking about, we offer services in HIV and AIDS counseling, health screenings, to ensure that you are aware of your status. It's very important in this era that as a person, you are aware of your status. We are talking alcohol and substance abuse. We are aware as IDM that you do engage or you do take in alcohol, but at what degree? Does your intake of such substances hinder your studies? If you find that you are battling with alcohol and substance abuse, feel free to come to the office to share and to talk about it with us. Our office holds confidentiality at the highest degree. With that, what I'm trying to say is what you will discuss with who you will discuss in the student welfare office is not going to be shared. You will not be judged. You are an individual. You are bound to make mistakes. You are bound to meet stumbling blocks as you go on with your studies. Another aspect of health and wellness that we have is that of sick and maternity notes. This is to say we appreciate that as students you are bound to not feel well, get sick, require a maternity period. I'll start off with the sick notes. When you find yourself not feeling well, if you are home and it's in the morning you are not feeling well, do not run to say, I have a class at 7, so I have to go, only for you to come and, for instance, collapse in the class. Go to the medical facility, go to the clinic. When you get there, have them write a sick note to you and deliver it to the office, where we will then share it with the academic registrar, who will then pass on the message to the lecturers. This is just so that your absence in school is justified. Now, when we come to instances of maternity notes or maternity periods, what we are saying as the Student Welfare Office in IDM is that upon realization that you might need a maternity note, come to the Student Welfare Office, register with the office that I, Katlego, will need a maternity period. We will share more information with you with regard to maternity notes, and the same flow will go on. That is to say, we will then liaise with the academic registrar, who will then liaise with your lecturers. Currently, the institution has contracted, yes, MRI, which Med Rescue International, solely to meet to meet the demands of your emergency cases. Like if you fall sick and you are in class and you need to be rushed to the hospital, what simply happens is, if you are in class, your lecturer or the student representative that you would have chosen or you have already chosen will then make or raise awareness to the Student Welfare Office that we have so and so in our class who's not feeling well at the moment. At that alert, we will run to the classroom to come and see and to come and have all the necessary details taken care of with help from MRI. All student welfare officers are trained on first aid. This is solely to ensure that once we meet an emergency situation, we are able to help you. We will not just leave you lying around and say we are waiting for the ambulance to come. We will help you with the first aid training that we have acquired. We will meet so that we will meet the need or the demand of the emergency at that time. One more thing that I can mention when it comes to sick notes and maternity notes. If you are a student and you know that you are living with any medical condition that is lifelong, come to the office, sensitize us of that condition. This is so that when we get a call and we're in the office and we get a call that Katlego Khasinewe in Caravan N is not feeling well, we know that Katlego Khasinewe has registered to say I'm an asthmatic student or I'm an asthmatic person. So when we come with our first aid bag, we know what type of emergency we're handling. Secondly, we can, with that information, we can call the ambulance from our office, not having to go to the scene, and then that's when we call the ambulance. But when we have your information, immediately we are sensitized that Katlego Khasinewe is not feeling well in Caravan H. We know that Katlego Khasinewe suffers from asthma attacks. We call an MRI to say so and so is not feeling well, but it's a patient or it's a student who's battling with asthma attacks. Another aspect of the Student Welfare Office that I'd love to talk to you about is that of special needs student services. This is to say, we have students we regard as students living with special needs or students who have special needs. Now our provision, the provision that we offer as student welfare starts as early as identifying. Some of you come with assessment reports, but we do appreciate the fact that you might realize your need as you are in school. We are not saying because we are not having an assessment report, don't come to the office. We do listen to you, we do give ear to you. So our services go and range as far as ensuring that your needs, as reflective on your assessment reports, your needs are met. This is to say, if you are recommended to be given special equipment like a tape recorder, we will meet that need with the assistance of external stakeholders. If your requirement or your recommendation says you need to be given extra time in your while writing exams, we will meet that need, or increased funds, anything of that sort. We also, one other service or one other initiative that we have is that we accommodate or we accompany you to special needs students to national commemoration events that are solely made for people living with special needs or people living or students with special needs. Lastly, the other key initiative that I would love to talk about is that of mental health. Now that more importantly, now that we are living in the days of COVID-19 or coronavirus, you find out that your emotions are all over the place. You are wondering, am I going to complete my studies in time? Fear clouds you, it clouds your judgments, your concentration in class. If you find yourself battling with such, come to the Student Welfare Office where we will address such. If you know that you are somebody who has a history of mental health, still come to the class, to the office to say, I Katlego Khasinewe were once treated for 1, 2, 3. This might occur again or this might not, but I was just sensitizing you of it. The following are some of the initiatives that we have or that you will find while you are here in IDM. We have firstly the Green Couch. The Green Couch is one that we have students sit down and discuss situations or discuss cases or situations to say that have accepted them that are similar. For example, if you say you are a depression survivor or you once tried to commit suicide, this I might add for your comfortability to say this is done at the consent of students. You will not be forced to be taking part in these initiatives just because we know you've had depression, for instance. So with Green Couch, we then sit down, you sit down as students, you deliberate more on how it affected you, how it affected your studies, what help you got, what you wish could have been done differently. And then another initiative that we have is the What I Wish I Knew initiative. This is where continuing students, that is to say second years, third years, fourth years, share with you first year students to say, I wish I was told 1, 2, 3 about starting school here in tertiary life, not necessarily in IDM, as a means to adapt to tertiary life. You might find that from home, you come with these perceptions, or you come with these perceptions where you have ideas that might not necessarily be true. Tertiary life is hard. Tertiary life is easy. Tertiary life doesn't require you to attend classes all the day. Normally you say, the What I Wish I Knew video will help disregard all that needs to be disregarded and applaud and appreciate all that needs to be appreciated. We then lastly have support groups. Support groups, these are just groups of students with similar cases, solely to ensure that you are able to appreciate whatever condition it is you are dealing with, and also to help you with aspect of universality. When I know that I'm dealing with depression, and I know that somebody else is dealing with it, and this is how they are doing it, it becomes really easy for me to cope, because I know I'm not alone in this. Somebody else has went through it, somebody else is still going through it with me, and somebody else has managed to get over it. One thing that I might have omitted when I was speaking about special needs student services, I omitted that of OVCs. Now we have registrations. With time, we will release a notification. Once you have settled, we'll release a notification to say, if you are an OVC student, if you are an OVC student, come to the Student Welfare Office to register. When you register, we will only require your name, the name of your social worker, where you are registered as an OVC, and we will also implore to see, is there anything that you need help with, assistance with, as an OVC student. With that, I'd love to welcome you to IDM and assure you that with the many emotions that you may be feeling right now, anxiety, nervousness to starting tertiary life, with time you will realize that this is just a walk in the park that needs you to put in the extra hard work to go an extra mile with it. I'd also love to then say to you guys that the services that I've just mentioned here reflect as well in Francistown. In Francistown, you will meet the Student Welfare Officer, Miss Marisa Twaba, alongside Mr. Ortaratang Olatotse, and their contact detail is 2410-300. In Gaborone, you will meet the Student Welfare Officer, Miss Gaone Gausekwe. You will meet Miss Rosemary Chizake. You'll meet Miss Boyfeng Neltipa and myself, Katlego. Our contact details are 36178. I'm sorry for that. It's 3612178, 3612184. We have offices both in main campus and in West Campus. In main campus, we are situated near the SRC office, and then in West Campus, we are situated in Block B4, Office 1.